But our next speaker is Wright. Now, Anne served for 29 years in the US Army and 16 years as a US diplomat in US embassies in Nicaragua, Grenada, Somalia, Uzbekistan, and on and on and on. She resigned from the US government in March 2023. Obviously wrong.
No, 2003.
Wrong notes here. 2003, in opposition to George Bush's war on Iraq. She's been an incredible war voice for 20 years and the co-author of Dissent, The Voices of Conscience. You've already welcomed her. She's a stalwart. Anne Wright.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Claire and Mick, for organizing this and being the voices of neutrality as you travel around your own country, standing up against a government that seems to want you all not to be neutral anymore. And coming from a warmongering country that warmongers all the time, I just wish we could have part of our country, of the United States, secede from the United States to be a neutral country. We need neutrality in the United States for sure. There aren't too many neutral countries in the world. You all are one of the few. And not that you're fully neutral. I mean, we have Medea Benjamin and I, who are both from the U.S., we have dear friends that sat in your jail back in 2019, two Army, one Marine, one Army veteran, that cut through the wires of Shannon Air Base and, or airport, but you might as well call it air base. I mean, it is, because the United States turned it into a U.S. military Air Force base by sending all of this aircraft, U.S. military aircraft or charter aircraft filled with military people in military uniforms with, we do not know, did they have their weapons with them? Probably so. God only knows what went through that. I also want to mention Roger Cole back here with PANA, who was kind enough to send us on a speaking tour. What was it, Roger? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a long time. But so, I mean, you all have been fighting this and fighting it to raise your voices to say we want to be a neutral country. And it is a very good thing to do, because if you don't, the slippery slope goes pretty darn fast, doesn't it? That all of a sudden your country is being asked, you're the NATO partner, you're the NATO this and that, and won't you do this and that for NATO? You're not a member yet, but and you don't want to be a member, but you're still a partner, so you have obligations to fulfill as a partner. So the slippery slope is already there, and trying to stop that is such a critical thing, and so hard. I mean, so hard. We've been hearing from Clare and Mick and others of the team of going around the country right now, and with the government-sponsored forum on why it shouldn't be quite, we'll still call it neutrality, but it's not really neutrality. So, as Mick accurately described those bastards, you know, go after them. Go after them, because it is so important that the people of Ireland stand up to say, we have a long history of being neutral. We want to keep this history. It is important to us. And you warmongers, go someplace else. Go someplace else, but don't stay here in Ireland. And I just want to mention it at the very end, you know, it's the choice that we have of whether you want to be a nation that is neutral or you want to be a nation of killers. I mean, that's what the United States is. We're a nation of killers. We send U.S. military folks to kill people all over the world. And you all know the history better than we. Americans, U.S. citizens, seldom really recognize all the places the United States has had its military and have been killing people. But other people in the world, particularly those countries that have been the recipient of U.S. military actions, they know very, very well what it is. I'll just end with a person that's from this island, but up in Northern Ireland, a dear friend, a Nobel Peace Laureate with whom I have been in Israeli jail before for challenging Israeli treatment of Palestinians on the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, and a person that Medea and I both were with in North Korea, because it's important to go to places where our governments say, we don't want you to go see what's going on. We want to be able to have enemies all over the world so that we can continue to spend huge amounts of our budgets. The United States right now is over $800 billion that we're spending just on our military, plus what we're putting into Ukraine, which is over $120 billion just for that. So it is important to listen to the voices of what it is all about. And a Nobel Peace Laureate, Marie McGuire, said, "After violence and war, many people never recover. They are like the walking dead, wanting every moment to escape from the suffering, pain, and harshness of life. If people allowed themselves to feel compassion and empathize with the suffering of those who have been injured or had someone killed, they would not be so apt to glorify war and militarism or offer their young to do the killing or the dying for others. Our world is at a very dangerous crossroads, and we as the human family must choose. Do we continue on the road of the U.S. and NATO, weapons and war, or do we choose the world of peace and nonviolence and neutrality?" So it's up to us to make those decisions. My country has made it, and it made the wrong decision. I hope you will not make the wrong decision. Thank you.